there, friends. Happy Friday. Welcome to another Friday Live, where today my plans completely changed because yesterday I received my box of paper pumpkin. So excited, and I love this kit. So here's a little spoiler alert here. If you have not received your kit and do not want to see what's inside, you want to keep it as a surprise, then you might want to come back and watch this after you've received your kit, okay? So there's my little spoiler alert notification. Good morning, Shirley. Now look at this box. Is it not the most beautiful box? It's so pretty. I love it. And it's just a small little indication of what's inside. Good morning, Shara. Okay, so first of all, we've got a flyer with a little peek at what's to come next month. So Sarah designed this box, and she designed it with the intention of sharing sunshine. So basically the box, this is what the box is going to look like. So there'll be projects inside, but there's going to be extra supplies so you can decorate the box and then fill it with all kinds of yellowy orange goodies and then gift it to somebody. I love that idea, especially right now. And all of these things were all designed before all of this, everything that we're going through right now started. Like they had no idea that we would be going through what we're going through right now. So this is just, the last few kits have just been so fitting. I love it. So anyways, there's still an opportunity to sign up for this month's kit, or next month's kit, sorry. This month's kit, this one here, sold out before the deadline. So, and I'm pretty sure that this one will sell out as well. And the other thing is, if you're watching outside of North America, this is a global kit. So you have the opportunity to purchase it. So make sure you do that sooner than later, because like I said, I don't think it's going to last very long. All right, so that, and then something different. We got pink tissue paper this time. I'm just gonna slide the box over so I can see comments. Good morning, Christine. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Shauna. Good morning, Carol. Good morning, Amy. Oh my gosh, look at all of you. Good morning, everyone. So we got some beautiful pink tissue paper. And then here's a little peek at the projects, but I'm gonna actually show you the projects. I made one of each yesterday when I got the kit because I was just so excited. It's just so bright and cheery, and a peek at some of the new in colors. So we've got, oh my gosh, sage something or other. No, jade, just jade, misty moonlight. This is magenta madness, and the yellow is bumblebee. So a little peek at some of the new in colors. So this was one of the cards. This was another one. So I made them exactly as they were intended to be made. And then this was the third one. So fun. I love the rainbows. Love, love, love them. Okay, so let's go back to what's in the kit. So of course you get your instruction sheet. You get an exclusive stamp set. So let's see, let me pull something that's white out here so you guys can see. So we've got, oh, happy day. There's some rainbows. Hey, you're amazing. And then some little random little bits and pieces. Fun, fun, fun. And then Misty Moonlight Stamp and Spot. Good morning, Mary Liz. I was so excited to see this because as a demonstrator, we are able to pre-order a selection of supplies from the annual catalog, the upcoming annual catalog, which by the way starts June 3rd. And my catalogs should be here. I think a portion of the order is scheduled for today and the rest of them next week. So I'm hoping to have them all ready to go as soon as possible. And for those of you who need them mailed, if you've purchased from me within the last year, you will get a copy from me, whether it's in the mail or available for pickup. All right. So anyways, part of the pre-order has always been the new in colors, the inks, the cardstock, usually the ink refills, the markers, some patterned paper, if there's patterned paper to match. But this year, because of all that's going on and the way that they've had to change their manufacturing process and things, they didn't want to put themselves in a position where they would be short come the release of the new catalog, so we could not order the ink pads. So I squealed when I saw this ink pad in there, because this is the only in-color ink pad that I have. I have all the cardstock, which is great, but it kind of limits you a little bit. So I was excited to see that. Of course, like always, you always get dimensionals and mini glue dots. These, listen, you've heard me say this before, this is one of my favorite sounds. I was excited to see these too. Puffy stickers. I love puffy stickers. And you know what? They are good quality puffy stickers. I find with a lot of puffy stickers, they don't stick very well. And these ones are sticky. You have today off too, for Shara? That's awesome. Nice extra long weekend. Oh, lots of you have 4 days off. That's awesome. All right, and then some of the bits and pieces. So we get some vellum little flag shapes. Okay, I'm gonna keep these out because I'm gonna need those. I'm gonna need that, and I'm gonna need this. Okay, and then we of course get some die cut shapes. So hopefully you guys can see these. This is a nice big cloud, and then there's a couple smaller clouds, a little label shape. And then there's this piece which has like almost like a postage stamp kind of edge at the top and the bottom, and then with the rainbow on it, and then this label shape. Oh, so many of you made it an extra long weekend. That's awesome. And then of course you get coordinating envelopes. So I think this makes three of each or 4 of each. Let's see what it says. Contains, 4 of each. So 12 cards. So you get some smaller envelopes with the Magenta Madness on the inside. Some regular size envelope. This is Purple Posy, and then this is Pumpkin Pie, and then the card bases. Oh, you get some vellum. Actually, I'm going to take one of those out. So one of the cards, the smallest card, is Purple Posy, and then we've got this fun little stripey one, and then we've got one that is all jade, just jade. All right, and then the last thing is some Magenta Madness and white Baker's Twine. So just like I do every month, we are going to scrapbook with this kit, and I'm excited to create such a fun, bright layout. Okay. Put all that in there, put these in here, and then set it aside. Okay. So I've pulled out a few things that I wanted to share with you. Some of them are extra, so some of them are not in the kit. So this first little collection here, these are all things from the kit. So I pulled out one of each of the die cuts. The envelopes, I won't use them as envelopes, but I may use this piece, and then one of each of the cards. So I've got basically one of everything, and then of course the Baker's Twine, the ink pad, the stamp set, and those fabulous puffy stickers. I've got one photo. This is a 4x4 photo, and this was of me and the kids on Mother's Day. We did kind of like a little tour. We went to visit my mom, and then we went to visit Marcel's mom. And so Jordan had brought her knitting. She was knitting because we were kind of all over the place. She was knitting as we were driving, and yeah, I just thought I would snap that photo. So this page is going to kind of tell that story. I have some other photos too, but that will go on a separate layout. And then I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock because we're going to create our own patterned paper with the stamps. I have a Whisper White 12x12 for my background. And then I have 2 pieces of 8.5 by 11 in color cardstock. So this is the Just Jade and this is the Misty Moonlight. And I chose those 2 colors because there is some pink in here and some orange already, and then the Purple Posy. But I really wanted to pull in, I love these 2 colors together. So I really wanted to pull in those 2 colors. And then there's also this card base as well. So we'll probably cut up some of the card bases. And then the last thing I pulled in is, this is the In Color, the 2020-2022 In Color 6x6 DSP. So this is a paper pack where you get, how many sheets do you get? 40 sheets. So you get 4 each, if I'm right, 4 each or 8 each. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 each of these. Nope. 4 each of each one of these patterns. Okay, I got it right. 4 each of this pattern, so you get the same patterns in all 5 of the in colors, and I'll flip it over so you can see the back. And I love that these patterns are kind of generic patterns. So they're not florally, they're monochromatic. I love monochromatic. They're so easy to mix. Hey Nicole, let's see. Oh, Sue got her box, but she wanted to wait to see what I do. That's awesome. Hello Kim. Yes, you're right, Mary Liz. These will make great cheery office cards. Carol made one of each of those cards. And, oh, I know, the new in colors, I really like them. I held off making any judgments until I got them in person, but I love them. Love, love, love them. So anyways, I pulled out this DSP because I'm pretty sure I'm going to want to pull in some more yellow. So I'm going to actually take that out. Now, if you're a customer of mine, and you are looking to get the whole in color collection, I have information on my blog, and I'll post a link above or below if you're watching the replay on YouTube. I will post a link to my in color club where you can get pretty much everything that coordinates with the in colors, and it's kind of a monthly fee, so it's almost like a club where it runs from June to October, and every month you get everything that coordinates in one of the colors, and then the next month you'll get a different color. So it's a great way to build a collection without having to invest all that money all at once. All right, okay, enough talking. It's time to move on here. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to create our patterned paper. So I kind of started this a little bit, first of all, because I wanted to see how easy it was to stamp these little rainbows, and it's super easy. So we are going to fill this with rainbows, and then I think we'll probably use this little asterisk as well to fill in some of the space. So because I don't have the in colors in ink pads, I've chosen colors that are similar. So this is Melon Mambo. It's a little bit brighter, darker. And then I chose Crushed Curry as the yellow. It's close, but it's not quite the same. And then Pumpkin Pie is the orange. And the orange is Pumpkin Pie in this kit, so that's fine. All right, so I'm going to open them all. Okay, now, I shared this tip on my Facebook page yesterday. Any of your clear stamps that you get that are more solid like this, if you want them to have a really, really nice, crisp image when you ink them, it really helps if you take just a white eraser and rub it on your stamps first and then clean them and then go to stamp them. And by doing that, like, look how crisp and clear this hay worked out. Like, it's so crisp and clear. If you just go to use it fresh out of the box, you'll find that you will not get that nice, clean, crisp image. You'll find it'll be a little bit bubbly. It doesn't ink properly. So that is, that's a little tip for you. Whenever you get anything that is more of a solid image, with line art images, it tends not to matter too much. But I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's a coating on there or if there's, I don't know. It almost needs just a little bit of, I don't know what it is, but it helps, trust me. All right. I've also heard that if you stamp it in Versamark and then clean it, that does the same thing. But because Versamark is a sticky ink, I would rather not do that. I prefer this method. Okay. So, all right, so I'm pulling in. The other thing is these bolder images, not that this is super bold, but with photopolymer stamps, because they don't have the foam underneath, there's no cushion, you just have the block. It does help to have a Stampin' Pierce mat underneath as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna do all of these ones first. I'm just kind of randomly stamping them all over. You can see that some are going off of the page, some are fully on the page. That makes it look like it's pre-printed and cut down to the size that you want it. Okay, all right, so pink is done. Set that aside. Now we're gonna do orange. So now I'm basically just going to take this and just fill it in. It's a little bit more difficult on these ones that kind of go off the edge because you can't really see. But it's okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. So I follow lots of scrapbookers online because I love to scrapbook and I love to get ideas from lots of different people because there's so many different styles and trends and stuff out there, and I like to see how I can use Stampin' Up! Product to create a similar look. And one of my favorite designers, Shamel Lane, she actually had in one of her collections, it was a collection from a while ago, so it's an older collection. She actually had rainbow paper that was almost like this. It was a kind of a cream base, and it had rainbows, just kind of, you know, more sketchy kind of rainbows, just like this. And it was just a full sheet of 12 by 12, just like this. And using stamps, you can create in whatever colors you want. You don't have to do rainbow colors. If you wanted to do like ombre rainbows, you could do ombre. Like with stamps, you have so much more flexibility. So I thought it was cool, and that's what gave me the idea to recreate that patterned paper with this stamp set. Love, love, love this rainbow stamp set. Okay, so now we've got our rainbow background, and now I'm going to pull in this little star image, and I'm going to use the Misty Moonlight that came in the kit, and I'm going to fill in, not a lot, I'm just going to add some random. And I think I want the bold bright, so I'm not going to do some stamped off ones. All of them are going to be inked each time. Just all over. So what does everybody have planned this weekend? All of you with your extra long weekend. And it's supposed to be nice. I was happy to see that. All of our weekends have been kind of miserable. We'll do more there, one here. So now I'm just filling in kind of where I don't have any blue. Maybe one more there, and then we should be done. So are there any big gardeners watching? I'm not a big gardener. I don't garden at all, actually. For somebody who loves to spend hours and hours on scrapbook pages and cards and paper crafting, I have no patience for digging in dirt. Okay, so this is going to go on here, but I thought that this might make a great, so this is the tissue paper that came in the kit, kind of background to separate the white from this bit, the white background on the back. So I think we're gonna do that. Okay, so, and I want to do a double layer. So let's do it this way. Okay, so I'm gonna add some fast views. Oh, for those of you who've been watching my movies, my videos lately, look what came in yesterday. I did order it. I was so happy. I could have just gone back and checked my order history to see if I had actually ordered it, but yeah, I was just being lazy. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of fold this so that the edges line up straight. Doesn't have to be perfect. Well, that didn't work. Not just. Okay, you know what? Let's cut a piece. Okay, I'm just going to cut a square out of here. Okay, so now I'm going to stick this on. And let's do it up here. And I just want a tiny little bit of pink. No, let's do it on this side. I just want a tiny little bit of pink showing. But then what I'm going to need to do is I have to stick these two pieces together, otherwise they're going to move around. And you cannot use fast fuse on this. It'll just tear it to pieces. So I'm just going to grab some tear and tape, and I'll just use tear and tape. And you don't need a lot. You just need enough to stick the two pieces together. And grab my paper piercing tool. Okay. So now I will just fold this back over. So now those two pieces are stuck. I could use my paper cutter, but again, I'm not being too picky about how straight it is. I will do a touch-up afterwards. That bottom edge does need a bit of touch-up. I want it to look straight, but it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. So that is really crooked, so we'll just do a touch-up on that. There we go. So you can do this with any tissue paper. You could use white tissue paper. Sometimes if I've got a darker photo and I want a white layer, sometimes I'll use layers of white tissue paper. I've got some patterned tissue paper. Sometimes you get some really beautiful tissue paper that has like a subtle pattern to it. That works great too. Like I keep all of my tissue paper, some for gift wrap and some for scrapbooking. Okay, and then the other thing that I want to do is I want this to be popped up. And I could put dimensionals on the back, but I have this piece of fun foam that I bought for another project. So I'm actually just going to use this fun foam. I'm on this quest to use up as much as I can of what I have in my craft room. So I'm actually just going to cut some pieces of fun foam. And again, just use some tear and tape, and this will give the whole photo the look of it being popped up. And it's not going to sink in different areas where there are no dimensionals. Okay. And I was excited to see that in the new catalog, we have foam adhesive sheets. So do you know what that means? That means that any of our die cuts you could cut and give it, you can make your die cuts, your stamped images, look like puffy stickers. I was so excited when I saw that. Same with your alphabets. If you want your alphabets to be stuck or popped up, you don't need to cut a whole bunch of pieces of dimensionals to make them fit the alphabet. You can just add the cardstock to the foam adhesive sheets and then run it through the die cut. Run it through your machine. The only thing, it will only work with open dies. So any of the detailed dies, the intricate ones, it wouldn't work with those, I don't think. Okay. So there we go. Now our photo is ready to be popped up. So when I stick that on, I'll probably use tear and tape again. Okay, so now let's get down to the base of our layout. I need my paper cutter. And I'm going to cut the Misty Moonlight. Let's try maybe 2.5 inches. And then this one, let's do maybe 2 inches. Okay, so this is only 8.5 by 11, so it's not going to go all the way across, but that's okay because I don't want it to go all the way across. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bits and pieces that I have that are patterned, and I'm going to create strips to go across. Okay. I know, I'm going to be stocking up on those, Sue. That's a good idea, Shara. Much needed rest, yes. I'm sure it's been so hectic and just, exhausting with all this online schooling. Oh, he got the combining done. That's Kathy. So seeding tomorrow. That's great. Okay, so now I'm going to cut varying strips. Okay, so this up until the score line. So for this, you have to be a little bit careful because this is the back of the card. This is the front of the card. The front of the card, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but it almost, it looks a little bit different. It has a very, very subtle pattern to it. So because this obviously isn't going to go all the way across, I'm going to need 2 strips that are the same width. So I want to check the measurement. So this is, okay, it's 3.5 inches. So I'm just going to cut that off. And half of 3.5 is 1 and 1.5. 1 and 1.5 would be 3. 1 3/4. Okay, so now I've got 2 strips to make it go as far as I want it to go. Okay, so that's what I'm likely going to have to do for all of them. So I'm going to cut this one off. Okay, and this, do I want my stripes to be going this way? Yes, this way. Okay, so let's do do 1 1/4 for this one. I might want to use this more than once. So 1 1/4, 1 1/4, and then what do we have left? We have 3 inches, so let's just cut this down to 1.5. So then I've got 2 more, and then let's do some just jade. So here I've got a solid pattern and a patterned pattern, but I'm going to use the pattern. Okay, let's do let's do 2.5 inches for this one. Okay, and I'll keep that because that might come in handy somewhere else. So we've got that, and then I really want to bring in some of that yellow, and I love, love, love this polka dot pattern. This actually has words on the back, and it says, share what we love, to love what we do and share what we love, and it says it in all the different languages, which is really cool. But I think I'm going to use this polka dot one. So for this, how wide do we want it to be? Well, let's start putting this together and then I'll decide here. Okay, so because I've got Just Jade down here, I'm going to keep this Just Jade up here. And I'm going to overlap them and varying lengths. Let's do some purple posy. Yeah, we definitely need some yellow in here. Let's do a thicker yellow. So we will do, let's do 2 inches. And this, I should be able to just cut this in half. just staggering it. Doesn't look like much right now, but don't worry. I'm hoping that once you add this is going to cover the seam, so that will fill it in. And these, I might shrink these down a little bit. Those might be a bit long. Okay, let's see. Let's add in, actually I think I want more pink showing. So let's pull in one of these pink patterns. There is some pink in this envelope, so I could pull that in, but you know what? I don't think I want to cut into the envelope. I'll save that for a different project. So this one I'm going to use, that doesn't really go with this. So let's use this wood grain one. So, and this we will do maybe 1.5 inches. This is a great layout to do with scraps. If you've got scraps of any patterned paper pack, you could easily recreate a layout like this. Okay, so this, I don't want it to be as long as this. Let's cut it an inch off of it, maybe. Seems a bit too wide, so I'm going to trim this down. Let's make it 1 3/4, and we will trim 1.5 inches off this one. Okay, so now I'm going to start putting these down, and I want there to be an even border at the top, or at the bottom and at the top, but the sides I don't care because they're going to be staggered. So these 2 pieces of cardstock, because they're not pattern paper, you could stamp on them if you wanted to. You could run them through and emboss them if you wanted to. I think I'm just going to leave them plain. What I am going to do is bring in my handy dandy ruler, and we will do 1 inch from the bottom. And again, I don't necessarily want this centered. This does not need to be centered. Let's just use this because this is just a bit faster. Okay, so I'm going to stagger this a little bit off to the right. And then I'm just going to flip this around, line it up so that it's 1 inch from the bottom. And then again, I'll do it off to the right, which will be the left. When I flip it around. Okay. So those are our 2 base pieces. Those are going to allow us to, actually this might come in handy to try to make these straight. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of use this as my guide so I can see how much is showing. Okay, I like that. So then what I'll do, again, my trusty ruler will help me make sure that it's straight so that it looks like one long piece. So I've just lined it up with the edges. And then I want it overhanging here. So just like that. And I can always trim this down if I feel like it needs to be trimmed down. Okay, next piece, we will do this piece. And this, I want lots of this showing. Really pulls in all of those colors. do some yellow. So the other thing you want to be careful of is you want to be careful that you are going to be able to see these colors or these patterns underneath. Let's do this like that. Melissa, it's actually a quilting ruler. I either picked it up at maybe Fabricland. It could have been a fabric store, or it's possible that Michael's carries it. I know they carry some quilting rulers. You can get them in a whole bunch of different sizes. This particular one is 6 by 12. I also have a 12 by 12 one, but I find that one's too big. You need too much space. So 6 by 12 works perfectly for me, because you can get at least halfway up a 12 by 12. And you can measure 2 directions at once. That's what I love about it. So if you're trying to get something evenly spaced from either side and from the top or bottom, it works great. Okay, so now let's do some purple posy. So this one, I think I can just snip this in half. I also have a T-square, which I use if I'm just trying to get something lined up. But as far as measuring, I find it doesn't help me so much as far as measuring. Let's just make sure that that's, yeah, okay. Okay, and then we'll do some pink. Oh, maybe we should do some more rainbow stripes first. Like this, and then add in the pink. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Okay, so there is a little bit of, I don't know if you can see that. That's where this score line was on the card base. So I'm going to put that underneath so that you can't notice it. This one, bring this one in, and then the pink. That should work. Okay. So last bit. And then we can go on to the fun part of embellishing. It's always my favorite part. Okay, so we've got all our layers. So that doesn't look all that great. I mean, it looks okay, but when you add this, then it just ties it all together. So see how all of those look like they're full strips. So I call them cheater strips. Okay, so our photo will go up like this, and I think I'm gonna do it just slightly off to the side. Or maybe I'll go off to the side this way. And then all of those little embellishments, just cover this over. Let's see what we've got here. Okay. Okay. Oh, Shauna's back. So we put a cloud there. Another cloud over here. And then a third cloud up there. We've got this piece, which I'm thinking will cut down. It's a bit big as is, although I could use it as a layer in behind here, like that. Or I could cut cut it down and tuck it. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about that. Oh, and I've got this fun piece. I definitely want to include this. Thinking I'll cut the rainbow off or trim it down a little bit because I like this little bit. This little bit could be cute, kind of tucked underneath one of these layers. Okay, I will use that. And I could put that over top. Okay, let's stick this down first. Let's commit to this. Still fussing with this fast fuse refill. I am determined to use it till the very end. Okay. Make sure all my ends are covered. Looks good. Okay, we'll add some tear and tape to the back of this, just because I think tear and tape would work better fussing with that fast fuse on the foam. Don't know how well that would work. Jordan is knitting a little bit of everything. I think she's got 3 projects on the go. Right now she's working on a blanket. She has made my mama blanket, which was the heaviest blanket I have ever lifted. It's kind of like a weighted blanket. Oh my gosh. She used really thick yarn, and I think the stitching that she did was really tight together. I mean, it turned out beautiful, but it's a very heavy blanket. But she's knitting a blanket, and she's got a scarf started for me, but she's determined to finish the blanket. But for those of you who've watched videos, I think I had mentioned, well, actually, I don't know if it was in a video or if it was a Zoom call or a Zoom crop now, but I had mentioned that she had a job interview at the Royal Alex, and she got a call, she got the job, so she's very excited. Very, very excited. So finally some things are looking up for her. I felt so bad because she was the one in our family, she was the one that was most affected by everything that was happening, and yeah, she lost her job, she couldn't finish school, just a ton of stuff went wrong for her when all of this happened. So yeah, she's very, very excited that she got the job. So, and it's a great opportunity for her. So, all right. Okay, so I'm going to trim this bottom bit off. I think I'm going to trim the top off as well. Let's trim this so that it's even on both sides. Oh, is that where your mom worked, Liz? Nice. What area did she work in? Okay, so let's see. That is kind of a lot of rainbows, isn't it? Maybe I don't need the rainbow. It's kind of a lot. Okay, we do want this third cloud. I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put my title too. Okay. All right, so the other things that I pulled out, I actually went ahead and I cut the word sunshine, because I think my title is going to be You Are My Sunshine. Oh, I have these pieces of vellum as well. I don't know that I need that one. Let's see. I think sunshine's going to be too long for this. And the other thing I pulled out that I thought would coordinate, and they just happen to be sitting on my desk, these are the, I think they're called Happiness Blooms enamel dots, and the colors, like this is pretty darn close. The orange is a little bit different, but the green, it works, and the orange, I think I could get away with using the orange. Those are the only colors that I had left in that, but I thought those might be cute as a little splattering. Okay, so let's focus here, one thing at a time, Sherry. Okay, so we want to do the title. Do I want to do it across the cloud? Let's see how long it is. once in a while, maternity. Nice. Now she doesn't know what unit she'll be on yet, but she's very, very, very excited. Okay, yeah, that is too long for the cloud. Okay, so now where do I put my title? Do I move it down here? I think it's going to have to go on a piece of vellum because it's going to get lost. Or I could bring in some of this darker color and I could do a strip across. I'm just going to put this dot back in there just so I don't lose it. Okay, let's see. If I put a strip of vellum underneath, of course that's not long enough. Helps a little bit, doesn't it? Okay, but then do I want to move? It feels too heavy with that big cloud on that side. But I really like that cloud covering that empty spot there. Okay, let's try moving the title over on this side. And I could do "you are" on top of this cloud. There we go. Okay, let's move this down a little bit. Or "you are my." So if I did it like that, "you are my sunshine." So I could do that. Okay, so do I want to add anything on here? There are some words. There's "oh happy day." I could stamp "oh happy day" on there. I think that would be good. Pull this in and "oh happy day," I'm going to use the blue, so we're going to pull in some more of that blue. Grab my Stampin' Pierce mat. Let's do it this way. It's easier this way. Okay. Looks about straight. The other thing I find that it helps with this paper, because this paper is different. The paper that comes in our paper pumpkin kits, these die cut shapes, they're different paper than our regular Whisper White paper. It helps if you're using a well inked stamp. But if you also just hold that stamp on the paper just a little bit longer, just give it a chance for that ink to soak into that paper, I find that you get a much nicer impression. See how good that looks compared to if I had just stamped it and then quickly lifted it up like you normally can on our regular Whisper White cardstock. But this almost has, I mean, I wouldn't say a grain to it, but it just, if you feel it and compare it to our regular Whisper White, it's not a really smooth Whisper White cardstock. So there's another little tip for you. Okay, I have dimensionals here somewhere. There we go. Okay, so I don't need dimensionals in this little corner. I need to pull out a package of regular dimensionals. I've got mini dimensionals here. You have to use so many more. You could add a little bit of sponging around the edges of the clouds as well if you wanted them to pop just a little bit more. I'm okay with this though because they're off of they're on color as well. Okay, so let's stick this down. So I am going to start with the H, and the H is going to be my guide. I'm going to move this out of the way so that I'm not working on that. Okay, so I want to about like that, and I'm not going to pop them up. I'm just going to use regular. Popping them up will just take too long, so just regular adhesive. And these letters are meant to be kind of italic, so it's slanted. The H also helps me kind of give me that, it gives me that base point so that I know how to line everything up. Now I hope I left myself enough room here. Wouldn't that be something? Okay, we will make it work. I need my tweezers. See how I am using the slant from the H, and I'm mimicking that slant with all of the letters. So has everybody received their kit? Paper pumpkin kit? I know a lot of you have because several of you posted yesterday or shared with me that you got your kit. S next. My hands are shaky today. Kim got hers yesterday. I know Carol got hers because she sent me photos. Yeah, Mary Liz got hers. Kathy, yours will be there on Tuesday. Yeah, yours always takes a little longer, doesn't it? Because you're out of town. The other thing that you can do with these letters is you can actually join them. Like for some of them, you can make them touch so it looks like it's actually just one long letter. Some of the letters it doesn't work out very well. Like the S doesn't have that little tail that you can do that. Okay, let's add the dot for the I. So I can trim this down just a little bit. Where are my big scissors? Turn back the layout. And then I think I am going, no, I'm going to put this flat. I was going to pop this up, but I think I might pop this up, the cloud up. Put it over there. I like that little gap there. So this might go underneath here. So I might have to pop this up if I'm going to pop this cloud up. Okay, we're going to do this. We are going to pop this up. So now I guess I do need to cut little tiny dimensionals. So I'm just cutting narrow strips along the edge of my dimensional pack, and I'll just put them kind of just on the wider bits. It doesn't have to be on every letter, you just need them every once in a while. didn't take too long. Amy got hers. Nice. I can't wait to get next month's kit. Man, I've been looking forward to these so much lately. It's so awesome. Because in the video that I shared the other day, I think there's pineapples in the kit. Very excited. I love me some pineapples. Okay, so before I stick this down, I've got to do the "you are my." I am not going to do that on camera because it's going to take forever. So what I will do is I will individually stamp this alphabet set, the smaller alphabet set from the Make a Difference stamp set. So I will do that, and then I will share a photo, just because I don't want you guys to have to watch me stamp all those individual letters, because I'm one of those people that stamps each individual letter. I don't put all the letters on a block and stamp them because I don't like the positioning that offers. Yes, I love that idea of spreading sunshine too. I actually had a completely different plan for today, but then my kit came in and I had to use my paper pumpkin kit. So I will be sharing a video next week on, I haven't decided if I'm going to do it on a Facebook Live or if I'm just going to record a YouTube video. I don't know if you guys have heard of Wine Ninjas. Well, the other day I got Wine Ninja'd. I'd never heard of it. I hadn't joined the Facebook group or anything, and I still haven't joined the Facebook group, but I love the idea of it. So I went and I bought some stuff so that I could Wine Ninja a few people. And I thought, you know what, I gotta stampify it. I gotta make it pretty. I can't just put it in a regular gift bag and not do something fancy with it, right? So that was going to be my video, was I was going to show you how you could amp up your Ninja package. So I will share. I've got a couple ideas, and yeah, I'll share that. And then I'm going to have to gift it to somebody who doesn't know me, because I can't give it to somebody who knows me. They're going to know exactly who it's from, right? So, okay, so I still have this piece. I still have these. Let's see. I didn't do my usual thing where that might be just a bit too much white. Maybe I won't use that. Okay. I mean, I'm really happy with the way this looks so far. Oh, I gotta have some twine on here somewhere. I can't do a layout without ribbon or twine. Okay. All right, and then we gotta add some enamel dots, or some puffy stickers, sorry. Okay, so let's do blue one. Down here. And maybe a bright pink one. Do it on here. Yeah, do it on here. Bright pink one. And let's do a green one here, and we will do okay, let's see what we've got for these little dots here. Okay, I either have to do 3 or I have to do 5, because that's the way things work with me. I can't. So I don't know if I should add another one up here and then a third one down here. I don't know, we'll see. Let's use this little sheet of dots. Add pink and some green to see if I can use some of these up. I tell you, this is where I think I take the longest to kind of fuss about, is positioning these little smattering of things. Oh my gosh. I feel like they're a bit too disconnected from these other two. I'll try to move them over a little. Okay. All right. What do you guys think? Does it need anything else? Oh, I guess I should stick my bow down. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Such a bright, cheerful layout. Now, one thing I did not consider was I did not consider where I was going to add my journaling. So, a smart idea would have been to leave that open. I could add my journaling onto that cloud. I could add it just right here. I could also just journal right across this green piece. I could do it up here. So I'll have to decide on that. I'll have to figure out how much journaling I'm going to have and how much space I'll need. So I think that's it for today. So I will post a finished photo of this layout once I finish stamping the title in there, and then add my journaling. And yeah, I'll post a photo of it completely done. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you create anything with any alternates with your paper pumpkin kit, be sure to share. I always love to see what you guys create. All right, so thanks so much for watching. If you're not yet a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, I will post on Facebook in the description above a link where you can subscribe, or if you're watching the replay on YouTube, I'll post in the description below. All right, so thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a fabulous weekend. Bye.